In this video, you will learn various types of data, various categories of news articles, qualitative analysis of news articles. Apart from the tweets, there are various types of data, such as news articles, blogs, discussion forums, etc. On the contrary to tweets, these data are varying in length. As Twitter data is limited to 280 characters, news articles, blogs, discussion forum, can be of any length. Also, there are multiple sources of these data. For example, news media such as CNN, BBC, Bloomberg, and Reuters are some of the sources of news articles. Blogging platforms such as WordPress, Blogger, or Medium are some of the sources of blogs. The discussion forums such as Quora, Stack Exchange, are also some of the sources where people talk about various topics. In this and upcoming section, we will focus our learnings on news articles. The news articles are of various categories. For example, financial news, sports news, entertainment news, etc. The financial news is further categorized into different categories. For example, there is news of earnings announcement, buybacks, dividends announcement, merger and acquisition, and corporate governance. These types of data are different from tweets, so the sentiment analysis is also different than the tweets, which we will understand in the next section. When we fetch articles related to a particular company or stock, it might not always be useful. Let's say we fetch news article for the stock Amazon. If in the article, Amazon is mentioned only once, and there is other generic information, so the article might not be useful for the stock Amazon. You need to keep in mind some of the factors before using articles for the sentiment analysis. Here we discuss two such factors. The first factor is relevance. As the name suggests, it measures how relevant a news article is for a particular company. However, you need to determine whether the article is relevant for the particular company or not. To determine that, you can check: is the company name, or its stock name, mentioned in the headline? Which sentence number is the company first mentioned? How many times is the company name, or its stock name, mentioned? In this example, Amazon is mentioned in the headline, and it appears multiple numbers of times in the article. So we can say that this article is relevant to the Amazon. Now consider this example. In this article, the stock Amazon is mentioned only once in the last sentence. Also, Amazon is missing from the headline. If you observe carefully, this article talks about stocks, Oracle, and Berkshire Hathaway. Hence, this article might not that relevant to the stock Amazon. The second factor is novelty. It means the quality of being new, or original. Let's understand how news gets reported on news media. Generally, for any event, first, the short alert appears, summarizing the event, then the one paragraph appears, detailing the event, then we get the update on the news, finally a correct piece of full article. So, for an event, we get 4 news. Likewise, there are multiple news sources reporting the same news, so we get the plethora of news for the same event. If we do not keep track, and respond to repeated instances of the same news, we will end repeating our actions manifold for the same event. So we should check for newness, and also for the new information in the same article before responding. This problem can be solved by removing the duplicate articles. We can also assign weights to the articles. For example, less weight to the older articles compared to the newer one. To conclude, you learned different types of data, their sources, and qualitative factors to use news articles before performing sentiment analysis.